Good morning, dear students. It's time for Unit 5, David and Goliath in English. This is a story. In fact, the story is taken from Bible and we'll be studying it. Bible has the bigger version of the story, but we'll get the gist. So let's start with Activity 1. Read the story silently. Young David and Goliath Part 1. There lived a young boy named David a long time ago. He had 3 older brothers and they were all soldiers in the king's army. David also wanted to be a soldier, but his father wanted him to stay at home and look after his sheep. So, long time ago there lived a young boy named David. He wanted to be a soldier like his older brothers, 3 older brothers who were soldiers in the king's army. But as David was youngest and small for his age, his father wanted him to stay at home and look after his sheep. So as he was young, he was not allowed to join the army and he was taking care of the sheep as his father told. So he used to take his father's sheep into the hills for their grazing, where sheep can eat the grass in the fields. And while the sheep were grazing means to eat grass in fields, as we say in Gujarati or in Hindi, charna, or in Gujarati as we say, charawa le jata to. While the sheep were grazing, he looked for flat round stones along the river bank or beside the rocks. So if there was a river flowing nearby, there you find a smooth round stones or besides the rocks and put them in his bag. He kept these round stones with him in his bag. Sometimes a hungry lion or an angry bear came to kill the sheep. But David was not afraid. Though such wild beasts came to eat the sheep, but David took care of the sheep and he was not afraid. He used to take a stone from his bag and put it in his sling. Sling is a kind of weapon with which we can throw stones. So here when the angry bear or lion came to kill the sheep, he used to take the stone from his bag and put it in a sling and then he used to brandish the sling in a circle above the head and stone flew from it through the air and hit the wild beast between the eyes and kill it. To brandish means to wave a weapon. We can wave any weapon. It can be sword or spear, and the sling, he used to brandish it in a circle. So he used to wave the sling in a circle above the head and stone flew from it. He was not just waving it, he took aim and that way when the stone flew from the sling through the air, it hit the wild beast between the eyes. So the exact center, it would hit there and kill the beast instantly. So he was good at that aim as well as he was brave and courageous that way, that a young boy used to kill these wild beasts with the help of stones. One day, David's father called him. He told him that their enemies, the Philistines, were marching into Israel. He said, "Leave the sheep. Go and find your brothers in the king's army. Give them these bags of flour and these letters before they go to fight." So David was doing his task of taking care of the sheep and killing any wild beast if they came to attack the sheep. But one day his father called him and said that their enemies. Now David is from Israel and their enemies, the Philistines, were marching into Israel. They were coming into Israel. Now if the soldiers of other region are coming into your region, it means they are coming to attack or they want to have a war. So they were marching into Israel, and he said, "Leave the sheep, go and find your brothers in the king's army. Let the sheep be there." He asked him to go and find his brothers, the three eldest sons, and give them these bags of flour and these letters before they go to fight. He wanted to share some message to his elder sons who were soldiers in the king's army. So he asked David to go and find his elder brothers and give these letters and flour. That was activity 1. After that, you have to write these meanings or keywords in your rough book once. Graze, to eat grass in fields. The sheep were grazing. Brandish, to wave a weapon. David used to brandish the sling. So, brandish means to wave a weapon. Sling is a kind of weapon with which stones are thrown to enemies. And fourth, march, a walk of soldiers with same speed and movement. The way you used to do march past during a sports day. You walk like soldiers, so that actual word is march, a walk of soldiers with same speed and movement. Activity 2. Look at the first paragraph of the story above. Find the word brandished. Can you guess its meaning? Brandishing is an action. Discuss with your friend what it could be. Draw a picture of David brandishing the sling in a circle above his head. Now, according to textbook, you had to read the story and try to understand. So, I already gave you the meaning of brandishing and drawing the picture. It's totally up to you. If you want, you can draw it in your textbook or skip it. Let's move towards activity 3. Given below is the story of Radha. Work with a friend, find words that will meaningfully fill the gaps in the story below. Now, here you are given a passage where there are blanks, and those blanks are to be filled with words. You can fill these words by yourself and then come back with the correct answers, but you have time. You can pause the video and try to fill it yourself. I'm giving you the answers which you can check later on. Radha wanted to become a lawyer, but everyone thought she was a fool. Now students, here with the sentence you have to make sure that the words are in the same tense. You will be studying all these things in grammar, but here I'm giving you just a glimpse of this exercise. So, everyone thought she is a fool? No, everyone thought she was a fool. Some students made fun of her all the time, but Radha never said a word to any of them. One day, a new teacher came to her school. She told the students, "Don't underestimate anyone. Even a small person is capable of greatness." Suddenly, Radha was filled with courage. She made a promise to herself, "I will never be afraid." She went to the principal's office and complained against those students. The principal punished them and they never made fun of her again. You have to write this exercise in your textbook only. Activity 4. Now share your answers with another pair. Check if your answers match their answers. You do not have another pair, you have me. So you have to check your answers with mine. So that's it for today. We'll continue with activity 5 in the next class. In today's homework, you have to write the meanings once in your rough book and activity 2 and 3 in your textbook.